If you have not subscribed to Alboa Cinema, this is where you will get everything. So subscribe. Wait, ni wewe naongelesha. Subscribe.
Start the journey with a camera in the hand. Like we do the movies, make the people understand that. Can I film industry? Them is standing tall. Alboa Cinema, me give it me all. From the small youth, me had a dream so bright. Every movie me break it down, shed the light. Film production, the heart, the soul, me pride. The journey never easy, but me never hide.
Karibu to Alboa Cinema. I saw this video by Larry Madowo. He was interviewing Djimon Hounsou, who said that he's financially struggling after 30 years in Hollywood, and he says they are definitely underpaid. So let us find out. Now, I'll be listening in and giving my commentary. I have to be honest with this. When I heard the general vibe of this, I thought I just had to do a video about it because it does cross a lot of the lines that I've been talking about here for the last year or so, especially on the Hollywood politics and whatnot. So let's hear what Djimon has to say for himself and why he's struggling.
How has Hollywood changed in terms of African representation in what you see since you started out to what's being produced now?
Yes, quite a bit has changed. I must say, because of course, when I came out with Amistad, I was nominated for a Golden Globe, but they ignored me for the Oscars, talking about the fact that they thought that I had just came off the boat and off the streets, where Steven Spielberg, used me for this film, and even though I successfully did that, they just didn't feel like I was an actor for whom we should pay any respect to. So.
Okay. First things. Let's see what Djimon Hounsou has been involved in. Yes, I was checking here. I was even shocked. So here on his IMDb, look at all these movies: A Quiet Place, Rebel Moon Part 1 and 2, Gran Turismo, Ozzy Voice of the Forest, Shazam, Black Adam, Paws of Fury, Kingsman, NBA 2K21. He did voice there 2020, A Quiet Place Part 2, The Longest Day in Shanghai, Shazam, Captain Marvel, Aquaman, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, what is he doing in there? The Legend of Tarzan, Furious 7, Seventh Son, Guardians of the Galaxy, How to Train Your Dragon. God damn, this guy has been everywhere. Special Forces, Black Panther, TV series, miniseries, 2010, he did 6 episodes. Vanity Fair Island, like this has been everywhere. Look at all that. All that. Let's see. Look at all that. He's been there consistently for a long time. Amistad, I think, 1997. Yeah, so at least from what he's saying, he's saying that they ignored him. He was nominated for Golden Globes, but ignored him for the Oscars. So it's the way he's talking about it. At least what I'm hearing is that Spielberg used him. I don't know. It felt like he's saying he was used and wasn't paid or something like that. Or he wasn't given. I don't understand where that connotation came from. But more important, I think there's a narrative being pushed here, which I've always told you guys. This narrative of oppression in Hollywood. This guy, make no mistake, Djimon Hounsou is a Hollywood elite. He's a very rich man. So every time you hear these rich Hollywood elites talk about their struggles in La La Land over there, you have to take it with a grain of salt, because remember, these guys, everything for them is about identity, how they assign roles, how they give roles, how they give the accolades they give. It's almost Everything is identity. You can't have too many white people. You can't have too few black people. Even if you are doing a movie about Vikings, you have to have your black people in there. If you are doing something about Japan, you have to have a black person. You have to have a gay person. This is what they've been playing, and we've seen the suffering of their storytelling of all this last 10 years especially. This guy has been very well received and has had a lot of work, as you can see. As I can see here, the Kazim, if I got money from the lowest he was paid here, I'll never be broke again. But apparently from this, he says that he was definitely underpaid. Now, you guys need to understand the process of getting a Hollywood contract, or any contract for that matter. For them, they have their agents that seek out the jobs for them. Often, sometimes, they're the ones who do negotiations, the managers and whatnot. They'll get you the deal. Sometimes you're involved, sometimes you're not, depending on what your arrangement is with your agent or whatnot. So the process has to go there until he signs on the dotted line to do the job for the amount that they've commissioned him for. But he's telling us here that they didn't respect him. So they gave him all these roles, these big-time Hollywood blockbusters, because they don't respect Djimon Hounsou. The narrative already falls flat on it. Just based on the number of opportunities it's got alone, the narrative falls flat on its face. This is now the normal victimhood narratives that we've had from Hollywood, this woke nonsense. These Hollywood elites at every single time, when they have an issue, they want to get along in that miasma of theirs, they come out with the narrative. I suspect strongly that they're given the talking points, and they can't stray from them. That's why you never hear of conservative people in Hollywood. They are there, but they can't speak, because this is the narrative. Oh, black people, gay people, minorities. Oh, our minorities. They need opportunities. They can't compete with that. Our opportunities, our preferential treatment. They can't do it. I'm like, why is it always this us whining about everything? When you're rich, you're whining. When you're poor, you're whining. When you're middle class, you're whining. Especially in the US. Why are they so? They're there, living the time of he's being interviewed by CNN. Try and get an interview by CNN, you see. You will not get it. But now this Larry Madowo was, he went to the CNN, this is their narrative, wokeism. So he's already doubled down. You can tell that this is not the first thing. He's come around with the LGBTQ things. He's come around with the GBV, gender-based violence, or just violence. He's come leaning every time towards this Western wokeism, this leftism. I know it because he works for CNN. He can't say anything else. They're always pandering to this. They're always pushing this ideology, always pushing this fake victim. Because these are two rich men seated, talking about how much the victims they are, or at least even Larry Madowo, have we got his victim narrative yet? It will come. It will come. It is like nature.
This conceptual idea of diversity and all that, it still has a long way to go.
No, I think that it's overcooked, and that's why a lot of the Hollywood movies are shit these days. This hiring people purely for their identity, not their capacity, has destroyed Hollywood, and it will continue to destroy Hollywood. You see, they're not even bothering so much with trying to tame down this narrative, because as an African, this is very infantilizing, that there's nothing we can do unless white people there address something. So that if I do a movie now and it does well in America, it is incumbent upon me to cry about systemic racism and all those things. If it does well, they will never talk about how the white people have supported the movie and it's great. No. They'll wait for me years later. Maybe I've gotten the money, I've spent it badly, or whatnot. Now I don't have it anymore. Then I can come and say, these white people are really bad. These systemic racisms. All this money I've made from these tens of films, these tens of millions of dollars, I don't know where it went, but systemic racism. This is what, in my opinion, this is what is going here. Every time. Because you've never heard Denzel talk like this. Have you ever heard Dave Chappelle talk like this, Chris Rock, Chris Tucker. You've ever had what is this fellow called? All these great black actors that are there that never once complained about this because they know they have it good. They don't need to pander. They just go do their job, come clean. You know, Denzel use it to the last. I can't stop Anyway, that's just weird. And this is the narrative that people are pushing. Now that we've been reduced as black people to perennial victims, we are not independent thinkers. We can't compete unless some white savior comes, because this is a problem. This guy is employed by CNN. It's owned by white people. But they're telling him to tell us how everything is horrible, white people bad. The white people telling you, they're chasing a narrative. And I'm imploring most of you to stop falling for this rubbish. Just because, in fact, if it's on this CNN, you should know 100% that first it's a lie. Start with it's a lie before you go on, because they lie all the time to push a narrative. This is what they've been using to try and beat down people with politics back there. So you shut down. If they put an incompetent black woman, someone, she ruins something, it's because she's black. No, it's because she's incompetent and untalented. And you've put her there because she's black or gay or whatever, not because she's competent. And we all know this, except a few, of course. I know a lot of you love these victim narratives. You know, white people. Go to hell, all of you, by the way. If you are one of those Africans, mnatuharibia brand. You think we are all whiners and we can't compete. We can compete just fine. We don't want to hear you with your snickering about, This guy has made millions of dollars in Hollywood. He's crying to us about being poor, being broke. He has a child with Kimorali, Russell Simmons' ex. These are the people he's hanging with. He's telling us he's poor. Ama Kimorali anachukua pesa yote.
Systemic racism don't change.
Shut up with the systemic racism.
I'm still struggling trying to make a living.
After 30 years in
that is the most bullshit. You see, if you're struggling after 30 years of making movies in Hollywood with all those big blockers, it's a you problem. It's not color. The fact that you got those many chances to begin with, it should be clear that there is no racism stopping you. You got the roles to begin with. You just did bad negotiations and bad spending afterwards. Were you just too happy to get the role so you took less money? Did you get the money and you destroyed it? You spent it badly? And why is it that I've searched for all your movies. Why can't I find how much you are paid? Everybody say, no, it's not out there. So we don't know how much you're actually paid. But you're coming out here telling us that you're underpaid. Show us the monies you've made on all those movies, including the royalties. Show us, and then let's believe, because this is a narrative you're pushing, Djimon Hounsou. You're 60 years old, maybe the roles don't come as quickly. You know, now you're older, you're not the mandingo. There's some new people that are coming through. It's the same thing that happens to hot women when they stop getting roles in Hollywood. Because they get older. They're replaced. Then they start crying about, there's ageism. Everywhere, somebody the richest people are complaining non-stop. How can you live a life like this? But now, as long as you have a little skin color, you have this trump card of race every time. It's actually quite disturbing to me that a lot of you people fall for this. You must be weak. You must know that you can't compete. Is that the case? Because the other black people that are making it, making billions in the industry, the musicians, the Dre's, the one is holding you back. You are holding you back.
business?
After, let's speak, 30 years, let's say, maybe the first 10 years.
This is so weak, man.
So I
so weak.
myself to the industry.
And establish yourself.
Establish myself. I've been in this business and making films now over 2 decades, and still, with 2 Oscar nominations, been in many big blockbuster films, and yet I'm still struggling financially.
Why are you struggling?
To make
How much money have you made? And tell us why you're struggling. Stop giving us these loose vibes on the side, just try, maybe they did. No. How much money have you made? Because I can't find. I've searched I spent an hour before this video searching to find out how much has been paid cumulatively. You can't find it. It's not released. Because you know what Tom Cruise makes, you know what Denzel is making, you know how this one is making, but not people like this, because they want this Trump card or what? Show us how much money you've made. You're a multi-millionaire in dollars who lives in Hollywood.
I think I'm definitely underpaid.
Growing.
And based on what? Didn't you sign the contracts? Didn't you negotiate and sign the contracts? What are we talking about here? Why is the responsibility being taken away from a 60-year-old man telling us that he's definitely underpaid, but all through all these movies that I've shown you, I don't know how much he earned, and why is he not telling us so that we know whether he was underpaid or not? He's just making insinuations. 60-year-old man, he's crying victim. This wokeism, this Western bullshit, destroys people's sense of responsibility. He can't take responsibility for his bad decisions. That is, if he's struggling now, it's him. Because he still has the brand right now to continue making money and doing other things.
Growing up, you're one of the first big black actors I saw in big budget films. So it's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, it's because you guys are lying to each other and you don't want to face the truth that it might be his only responsibility. Or maybe he had a bad agent who took all his money. Just tell us what the actual thing is. Stop feeding us this bullshit about systemic racism. We are all tribal. Everyone is tribal. But if there's one place that black people go and make a killing, it's the US. Or are we pretending it's different? How come it's not stopping Denzel Washington from making tens of millions of dollars per flick? Come on now.
It's a sign.
I know he's not the level of Denzel. Denzel is a much better actor.
For you, that systemic racism is not something that you can deal with lightly. It's so deep in.
Yeah, they have to create this mystery that nobody really knows. No, we know we are tribal, and it's not just white people, it is everyone else. But as far as Hollywood goes, they are pandering to you, black people, gay people, transgenders, all these people they call minorities. They are pandering and they are putting you in roles that you have not earned. Can nobody say that? Why are they turning white characters into black characters to give? Why can't they build an entire franchise of just black characters from scratch? Every time they have one, let's just put this black character and this white. They can't do it. We all know it. It's because they know the ideology they are following is not based on meritocracy. It's based on just pushing these identities. Like the fact that Hollywood has destroyed most of the franchises in the last 10 years doesn't tell you anything about it. Why do you keep saying this nonsense?
Inserted in so many things that we do across the board, and you don't overcome it.
Yeah, it's because it's been inserted in every place. The ideology has been inserted. It's not real. In fact, I have heard black Americans get to colleges with less marks because of the systemic racism. So they're not giving them opportunities. What they are is that they've dropped standards for all the black people. So you won't compete when you get in there and you get that Chinese who has to get in there with the highest grades, or the white person or the Indian. You are the poor black who can't compete. So you come down with the lowest marks. This is what's happening here. That you have been given so much preferential treatment that when you don't get it, now you think you're a victim. Think about that.
You just have to you have to cope with it and survive the best way you can.
What do you hope your legacy will be?
They're not surviving, man. These people are living lavish, man. Just cut the bullcrap already, man. Djimon Hounsou, you're not surviving. You're living large. Like, what is this rubbish that we keep hearing? And why do you guys fall for it anyway? It's bullshit, and you should know that.
In this industry, for your acting, for your philanthropy.
Niko na kahoma
Like
kama
in
Mado.
California, with this compelling need to do something for my continent. And
I bet you heard all of them say that. Okay, you went to do something for Benin. Your friends from Benin. Is there any blockbuster you've done in Benin? You know, you've started like a small industry there, because the money you have when you go to Benin, it can do wonders. That dollar can stretch a long way in Benin. But have you done anything? You can get someone in America to give you $1 million to do a movie in Benin. Why haven't you done that? Since you did it for the continent. I'm sick of this pandering, man. Everybody here is just chasing their own bag. If they need to pander to you, to feel sorry for them, they're chasing the bag. He seems to have mishandled his bag. And now we all have to listen to this garbage. 60-year-old black man crying about the decisions he's made for 30 years. What kind of absolute rubbish is this?
Do something for my people in general, and to champion this idea of reconciliation and reconnection with the motherland.
Like reconciliation and reconnection, reconciling what? You see, these guys are just saying words. This is the word salad that are given by their PR people to throw it out there. Oh, reconciliation with the reconnection. Nobody is stopping you from reconnecting with your Benin, the Benin citizenry, Djimon. You just have it really nice there in Hollywood. It's really not a big deal here. You know it. Everybody knows it. But you're trying to pretend that you're doing this for Benin, for the motherland. Get the fuck out of here, man. You have mismanaged your money. You've mismanaged your opportunities. Now you're 60 years old. You're not getting the roles you used to get. And you're mad. You're mad that you made bad decisions. You're mad that you signed bad contracts. You're mad that you didn't negotiate harder. You're mad that other people got paid better. It's not systemic racism, Djimon Hounsou. You and Larry Madowo and this CNN bullcrap, you are spoiling our name as black people. We are now seen everywhere. You are seen as whiners, incompetent whiners who just want preferential treatment because they can't compete. Djimon could compete just fine. He has enough talent to compete, but here we are, listening to him, telling us about how life was unfair for 30 years. I made millions of dollars, but it's unfair. Go to hell, Djimon. This is bullshit.
Contributed to change the narrative about our people and the continent.
You can't change the narrative when you're crying all the time like a child. When you get all the opportunities and you're coming here to cry about this is absurd. And you see, they didn't even spend much time on it, less than 3 minutes. Because it's just like a thing they drop. Let's drop like a narrative. Djimon might get maybe there's a new movie zine or whatever, or he needs to push the hand of the producers to pay him more. Whatever this interview was for, it's not to show that Djimon Hounsou is struggling in Hollywood. It's to try and manipulate us to feel sorry for someone who's obviously made bad decisions in his career. Unfortunately, this is very disappointing. What do you think? You can leave your comments. I know many of you in that victim of white people. Ingisha hapo comments. Niambie vile mimi mbaya. I still like to listen and watch that. I don't offend easy. I really don't. You can say whatever you want. But despite that, just like, share, subscribe with this idea that algorithm so I can get to my 1,000 subscribers. Hey, niko 9 something. I don't like to count like a subscriber watch every day, like how many. I take like a week, then I check. I hope it's that way. Otherwise,